through Prilosec OTC. Ooh, are those jalapeno poppers?
Prilosec OTC prevents excess acid that can cause heartburn, so you can enjoy the holidays. 1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you 24/7 with supplies and solutions for every industry and access to product specialists ready to help. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text STAPLE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text STAPLE to 321-321. That's STAPLE to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Listen, you can't handle the truth.
It's about to go off.
Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call now at 615-844-5600.
Oh, righty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
And a good Thursday afternoon to you. And yes, it is time for the McFarland Show right here on WNSR. Darren and Justin with you. I don't need to say our last names because it's the McFarland Show. Hopefully you figure that out.
Fill in the blank.
Devlin is alongside here in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. It is going to be a lively 2 hours because we basically did the first segment of the show. But this show is live. We did not record it.
Oh,
I wish
don't
we
do
did.
it now. Don't do it.
I wish we did because it was pretty spicy, man. It was good. I liked it. But I'm just saying that's setting the tone, I think, for today.
It is.
I feel like we've got the juices flowing. That's a good way to put it. Like, don't look outside because that's depressing.
It is rough outside.
By the way, it is just a big pile of crap outside.
Yeah, you just got to get yourself together out there.
Yeah, if you're
just,
if you're driving around, just listen to us, and we'll try to bring some sunshine.
You know what? Mentally prepare yourself. Just mentally prepare yourself. That's what I have to say.
It's crap.
On a day like today, you just have to go give it a big hug. That's all you can do. Because it's not going to get any better.
No.
So you just might as well go on out there and just, you know what? It's raining today. Call me Gene Kelly because I'm singing in the rain out here.
We have decided to close the blinds. By the way, you can watch the show. You can't tell that the blinds are closed.
That's true.
But the curtains and the blinds are closed because we don't even want to look outside. It'll depress the show because it's a big pile of crap outside. In all seriousness, though, be careful when you're out driving around because it's messy.
Please.
It's messy.
It is.
It's just messy. Messy, messy, messy. Mm-hmm. We got a lot of things to get into.
We do.
You know?
We do. Lots happened. And actually, we've covered so much Titans this week because of the things that have happened over there. We have not touched on several other important sports stories happening here in Middle Tennessee, including the return of your Nashville Predators tonight.
Are they playing hockey again?
After the mid-December All-Star break, sabbatical.
I was wondering how are you going to frame that?
I mean, I've never, and you know, Darren, and again, I'm learning hockey a little bit. I don't understand that. The Predators have a natural. There was no pipe this time that caused this. This is just an ordinary break that was in their schedule, off for nearly a week. I don't understand this.
No.
This would never happen in any other sport.
I did think of you last night And I'm going to tell you where I'm going with this since we're talking about hockey. I wasn't watching, but I did see it on the crawler. I think I was watching the Vandy Pitt game, which, by the way, ended up being a barn burner down the stretch. That was a fun game. Vandy held on and won by, I think, a point after Pitt took the lead with like 12 seconds to go.
All right.
But I saw on the crawler they're beginning the third period in Columbus.
Okay.
The Buffalo Sabres were leading the Blue Jackets 9-2. And I'm like, see, Justin, I told you, man, this is today's hockey.
Are you sure that wasn't a minor league baseball score?
No, it was 9-2 to begin the third.
That means third inning?
No, the third period. That means there was 20 more minutes of hockey, and it was 9-2.
Wow.
You see what I mean about scoring?
I do. I got it.
9-2 to begin the third.
Okay.
Clearly, Buffalo took their foot off the gas. The final was 9-4.
Coasting.
Just coasting to the finish line.
Coasting. just slap the puck. You know, the entire third period becomes one big power play kill off. We're just trying to kill the clock here this whole entire third period.
But to your point, they are back. By the way, the Edmonton Oilers scored 8 last night. So I'm just telling you, like, you can't be surprised when you see 8 and 9 goals in a night. You can't be surprised anymore.
Okay, all right.
I know the Predators aren't doing that, but the other teams, and by the way, the Sabres, that one surprised me a little bit. But, like, Edmonton scoring 8 is not a surprise. It's not.
This is just a new
They beat
world
Arizona
here.
8-2.
This would be
Canucks beat the Sharks. I was watching this one after the Vanderbilt game because the Sharks had crazy uniforms.
Yeah.
I guess it was the retro, right? They looked like the San Diego Chargers, but they won. Canucks won 6-5. So we are going to check with Emma Lingen, who is the Preds beat reporter, in about 15 minutes. She's down in Tampa, as you said. They're about to kick off their season again. So it wasn't an Olympic break.
Yes.
Maybe it was a Christmas.
Maybe it was a World Cup break. Maybe there were several guys in the NHL
I don't think
who
it was.
needed to go play a little soccer and, needed a World Cup break.
Let's go to the phone line. 615-844-5600. I think our first caller is going to be kind of like the weather outside. I think it's going to be a little gray, a little doom and gloom. What do you think?
That's
you're saying you're waving Carl on like, let's bring it. Let's go. Let's go.
If it is, it is.
All right, Carl in Nashville. What's up?
That's funny as hell. What did you say? They're on the World Cup break.
World Cup break, man. They needed a World Cup break.
Funny.
Because, maybe some guys needed to go join the Canadian team or the Russian team.
Well, they are soccer fans.
I know. Listen, it's the world's game. We're the only ones who don't care. Everybody else cares. So,
That's crazy. Darren, how long have you been on the air in a Nashville market?
20-something years, like 23 years.
Wow, it's a long time, man. You know what? Listen, me and you, we disagree on something, but we never disagree.
Yeah, no, dude, you're welcome every day on this show, man. I love your takes.
My man. So, we've been talking for years with each other. But you know what? And just for that, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt because obviously I continue to listen to the show when I get off air. Because, you have to understand where I'm coming from, right? So I've been telling guys like you, Willie, George, all the guys that's been on sports radio here in Nashville, the same thing I've been saying about the organization. I find it to be cheap, and they want to fill seats more than they're interested in winning. I've always felt like that. But you know what? You said something after I get off the air that made me think. Now, if you are such a person that's stubborn in your spot and you're just going to sit there, then you'll never grow. So I trust your judgment, and I'm gonna give it a chance because I trust your judgment on these things. You said something. You said that there's been a change that you've noticed in the organization over the past few years. And maybe sometimes change in ownership and leadership is something that, that was steered in the right direction. So, you know what? I'll take your word for it. Because I don't believe you to try and be a shield for any organization. I've been listening to you too long to think such foolishness.
Well, I will say this, Carl. What you said when you called in the other day was spot on about 6 to 7 years ago, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Spot on for a good while. And believe me, I can speak on this. And, again, I know you've been listening for a long time. And I was telling Justin a lot of the stuff off the air. I think I did mention some of the stuff on the air. But and the Titans know this. And I've had private conversations with them. I hammered them for years. And I told them, I said, I'm not letting up until you guys get better at what you do, okay? You are a rudderless ship. You act like you don't give a damn about this market. You don't lift a finger to do anything for this market. And if you don't care, I don't care. And I'm just going to hammer you every day until you start caring. And I did. And, yeah, it ticked off a lot of people, and I get it. And the die-hard Titans fans, man, they wanted to, they wanted to come get me. But I'm just going to keep it real. You know that. But you also know, with that being said, I don't hammer them anymore. And they're not perfect. And they're not a well-oiled machine today, Carl. All I'm saying is they are light years better than what they were in that window that you were talking about, that they deserved every bit of criticism they got in this market.
Absolutely. They earned it. And not only in this market, it's when they were in the Houston market as well. You know?
But I just
they did the exact same thing.
Yeah, and I don't want to be cold about it, but I don't give a damn about Houston because we live in Nashville. You know what I mean? Like I know you're right, but I don't care what they did in Houston.
I was just giving it a little historical.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. And
look, man, y'all have a wonderful afternoon. You know, I always like listening to any show you're on, so I'm gonna follow you whatever station you're on.
Well, don't be a stranger, Carl. We always appreciate your calls, man. Thank you. How about that?
Hey,
the McFarland Show, you know what? Changing lives.
Absolutely.
Changing fans' lives.
And broadening perspectives.
Carl
That's what we're all about.
Look, Carl is in the Eric, Kenny the Mailman, and I don't want to start naming it because I'll leave out.
You will.
You know what I mean?
You done left out 5 people
and
already.
Whoever does the documentary one day on Nashville Sports Talk Radio, Carl's in that mix. Right? And a lot of people that call into this show are on that documentary. And Carl's one of them, man. He's a long time sports talk caller in this market.
And that's cool. But what comes along with that long time listener and is the long time passion and at times scars. Scars from past disappointments, scars from free agency, of the past, and all that kind of stuff. One of the things that we kid around with Devlin sometimes because he's a little bit younger than we are.
Just a couple years.
But Devlin doesn't have some of the memories and stuff of the disappointments and stuff that happened before. So you look at things differently because you weren't here, you don't know.
Yeah.
But when you do know, you see certain things and you think of them differently. And I can't blame Carl if he looked at Julio Jones and thought about Andre Johnson and Randy Moss and the other.
We can go down the list, right? We can spend the whole
right
segment.
There. I mean, duh. I mean, we
Yancey,
see
Big
it,
Pen.
bro. We see it.
We can
see
go.
it.
Yep.
It's just different this time, or at least it felt a little different this time because of the change in the ownership and the ownership trying to move the franchise forward, it would seem, in more positive ways than perhaps in the past.
Yeah, I've said this many, many times since I've stopped hammering them, okay, to the degree that I used to do it on a daily basis. I mean, I would have told Carl if he was still on the line. I mean, I'm not even sure you and Devlin believed what I was telling you guys, like, off the air. Like, you were like, you really did that on the air? Oh, I really did. I wish I had the audio. I'd play it.
Yeah.
But, you bet I did.
Yeah.
And believe me, it raised all kinds of you-know-what.
Yeah.
But I have said, Amy Adams-Strunk, and I've never talked to her. I hate that. It's not for lack of trying. I don't try very hard, but when I have, it's been met with a Heisman stiff arm. I'd love to have her on the show. But, it's pretty apparent right now she's just not going to do that stuff, and I get it.
Yeah.
We've talked about it.
We did
a lot over the last couple of days, but I don't know how she would feel about this statement because it's about her father, and he may rest in peace. But she's a better owner than him. She just is.
Yeah, I mean,
she's done more in that short window than her father ever did in this market, and so to Carl's point, going all the way back to Houston, right? Since they first started owning the franchise in the early 60s. So like I said, I don't know if she views that as I'm trying to pay her a compliment. I get it. It's about her father who's no longer with us, but she just is. Even though I haven't talked to her, I haven't met her. I don't know anything about her other than she's the one that stood up in the room and said, I'm in charge now. And ever since she did that, whether the league made her do it or not, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. She's done it. The franchise has been better off, and the market has been better off. This market has been better off because of that.
I'm not gonna, and of course you can go that far about what you want to say about who's better or worse. I will say this: there's no question that Miss Amy happens to be here and in town and more engaged with some of the local feelings around town than Mr. Adams was. Mr. Adams came in town
went to the game and was back at the airport in his private
got
jet.
back on the plane and
back
left.
Home. Yep.
And he was that way pretty much from jump.
Yep.
From jump.
Every once in a while, he would make some appearances. Every once in a while, but
outside of a Sunday.
Right, outside of that's what I'm saying. Outside of a Sunday,
I'm trying to remember the last time I saw Mr. Adams, and it wasn't on a Sunday.
Yeah,
or Monday night.
It was few and far between, but he did do some, some function.
No. I'm not trying to say he wasn't
every once in a while.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say he was never here or anything.
Well, no, he really wasn't though.
Well, no. As far as being out there and doing stuff, I'm not trying to say nothing happened. All I'm saying is it is clear that Miss Amy has put forth. In my view here, a larger effort as far as trying to be more engaged with the community and the people here on the ground than Mr. Adams did. Mr. Adams is a Texan, and we never forgot that, and he never let us forget that.
Yeah. Well said. We were going to get into Taylor Lewan speaking. With
that's
Kay
right.
Adams, but no, we're not going to. We got time.
I'm sorry, I forgot
no,
about
no,
the thing.
No, we're going to do that.
Darren.
We're going to do that in a little bit. No,
I carried away, man.
It is a 2-hour show. We got time.
I guess
we'll figure this out.
I guess that's true.
Speaking of that, before we go to the break and go down to Tampa, there is news out there on one Caleb Farley.
I never got around to what it is. What is it? I saw him trending for some reason.
Yeah. What'd you see?
Well, I wasn't able to get to the reason why he was trending.
He's having back surgery again. I believe I've lost count. Is this 3 or 4? Going back to college.
Well, it's 3.
3?
I'm pretty sure it's 3.
3. This is.
Yeah.
Again, we don't have much time. Well, we can bring this up a little bit later, but
no.
This is part of the John Robinson talk this week. It just is. It's part of it. I know everybody's going to go to A.J. Brown quick, or first.
And that's
this is part of the equation. Caleb Farley is part of the equation because right now there's no proof that he's going to amount to anything.
The deeper issues to me are the draft picks. More than A.J. Brown. And I understand A.J. Brown's a high profile. I got you. He scored. I got you. He scored a couple touchdowns. I saw that. The deeper issues are there's no Caleb Farley to shut down an A.J. Brown. When you need, what you could have really used to deal with Caleb Farley on Sunday? A top 10 cornerback in his third year or second or third year, with a lot of speed, size, and athleticism. And this one happens to be hurt. And wasn't available. And now we're out there with, what we had, just trying to deal with it.
Yeah, but honestly, the bigger picture is even when he was available, he wasn't playing his position they drafted.
No,
he was
wasn't.
Special teams guy.
That's it. But
which tells you that they don't think he's good enough to play.
But that's my point.
His position.
My point is, it would have been helpful if the top 10 defensive back that you selected actually behaved like the top 10 defensive back, and he wasn't there. So when you let go of an A.J. Brown, you can end up getting torched because you don't have the things that you were hoping to have to be able to stop the A.J. Browns of the world. He just isn't there because the draft pick didn't work out. A lot of what's happening with the Titans this year, they can't get the running game going. Why can't they get the running game going? Well, they're short on the offensive line. You know what have really helped? Big, strong offensive lineman out of Georgia, maybe. Yeah, who was, big and strong and powerful, played major college football. And they drafted one of those guys, and then the ideas behind the people who were drafted were great. If they reached all of their potential, the Titans would be in much better shape than they are now. But they didn't. No. They didn't, and as a result, this is what you get.
The Predators just tweeted out there is a game in 4 hours. They're probably reminding people, too, that they're still playing a hockey season. So with that being said, we'll head down to Tampa. Emma Lingen is down there, the Preds beat reporter. We'll check in with her and find out about tonight's tilt between the Preds and the Lightning. We'll do that next year on the McFarland Show, WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Hey guys, it's Zach. Give the gift of play with the team at Play It Again Sports in Brentwood and Hendersonville. Stop in and stock up on a huge selection of new and gently used gear and equipment. Maybe you need some cash for the holidays. If you have too many bikes, inline skates, hockey, or other sports gear that you don't use anymore or it doesn't fit, get cash on the spot for your unused gear at Play It Again Sports in Brentwood and Hendersonville. They have the trained staff to help you sell your gear and help you find the perfect gift for the holidays, like a new baseball bat, lacrosse stick, yoga and workout gear, or equipment for a home gym. Or maybe you're like me and you love perusing golf clubs. Go check out what they have in their used inventory. I'm always in the Hendersonville store checking out their used golf clubs. So get cash for your holiday gifts when you sell your gear at Play It Again Sports in Brentwood and Hendersonville. And make sure to tell them Zach from Nashville Sports Radio sent you. That's Play It Again Sports in Brentwood and Hendersonville.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text STAPLE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text STAPLE to 321-321. That's STAPLE to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Tired of the same old company holiday party and looking to reward your team with a fun night out? What about something different for a birthday party or group gathering? Hello, this is Philip Cox of Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers, and we specialize in group events no matter the size at our Tusculum, Donaldson, Hermitage, Murfreesboro, and Hendersonville locations. Plus, Hendersonville and Murfreesboro offer enhanced entertainment options with bumper cars, laser tag, roller skating, and more. 'Tis the season to have fun with family, friends, and business associates, and there's no better place to do it than at Strike and Spare Family Fun Center. Visit strikeandspare.com to learn about the group outing option. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
Grizz Nation. Make some big Memphis noise and don't miss your Grizz this Friday at 7 as they battle the Pistons on Adoptable Pet Night. Presented by Hollywood Feed. Arrive early as the first 5,000 will receive a player pet calendar. Get hyped, get ready for a star-studded show and secure your tickets today by calling 901-888-WHO or online at Grizzlies.com. Grizzlies, Pistons, Friday at 7 right here on WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Back here on the McFarland Show on this gray, rainy Thursday afternoon. Won't feel like that on the show. That's just outside.
Oh, no. I don't know what you're talking about.
Darren and Justin here with you. I don't know what it's doing down in Tampa where Emma Lingen is standing by. The
Probably
Preds beat
not
reporter.
this.
Probably a shower. You know, don't they get afternoon showers?
They do around this time,
Around
too.
this time, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at. So, Emma, is it raining currently in Tampa, the afternoon shower?
You know, I really hate to break it to you, but it is sunny and blue skies here in Tampa. It's about, I think, 83 degrees outside.
Yeah.
That sounds like Tampa.
Yeah, I asked. So, we deserve it. That's fine. I should have known better than go into a weather report when it's just rainy and crappy here. But nonetheless, it's something else. for everybody. And I saw from the Preds Twitter account, they just tweeted out, hey, there is a hockey game in like 4 hours. And that's literally what Justin said at the beginning of the show. Like, oh, my gosh. I don't know if the Predators were on what'd you call it, a World Cup break?
It's a World Cup break, Emma. It was a World Cup break. And they just need to go on out and be honest about it and just let us know that some of the guys needed to go play for their respective countries
the
in
Swedes
the World Cup.
And the Swiss.
And there's nothing
and the
wrong
Finns.
with that. They take Olympic breaks. They can take a World Cup break. It's okay.
They like soccer. They like soccer. They like Nashville SC, too. So that's where I want to start, Emma. Rest versus rust. Like, on one hand, you're like, between the water main break, there's been a lot of rest. Mm-hmm. So is that a good thing, or is that going to equal rust?
Well, if you look first at the water main break, obviously that was an unexpected period of rest there. But clearly, if you just look at the results, the games that followed against Anaheim and then on the road in New Jersey and Long Island,
we're good. Yeah.
Look rusty.
No, look good.
I think, and I think this time with more of a planned rest that this was, I think the guys are, they definitely have been practicing. They've been working really hard. So definitely haven't let their foot off the gas at all.
How has John Hines, handled a rare, no weekend? Last weekend, to have no hockey. And then all of this week until we sit here on Thursday. We talked about, we talk about all the time where this rarely in the, in an 82-game schedule, teams just don't practice anymore. Players talk about it. It's not like just even 5 years ago where they still practice all the time. They just don't practice like they used to. So how has John Hines handled the downtime with the team?
Well, it was a pretty quick pivot. It was nice, obviously, that we had Centennial Sportsplex available, our practice facility, when the arena was flooded. They pivoted pretty quickly, and they still had practices there on both days that the water main break had occurred. When the games were canceled, they still had practice. And, again, just a huge credit to all the work that went into getting the arena back, not fully operational, but operational enough for us to be back in there, and the guys are practicing there. They had a full practice yesterday, the day we left, so went straight from practice to the airport to fly to Tampa. And so, like I said, definitely, there's been a lot of wrenches clearly thrown in the schedule. Some were planned and some were not, but I think the coaching staff, John Hines and the coaching staff, have handled it extremely well. And, like I said, there may not have been games, but there's definitely been a lot of hockey going on.
Their last game, which was, last Friday against the Islanders? Yeah, because we talked about it on the show. It was that night. A 4-1 victory. How nice was it? That's like cruising for the Predators. Everything we see has been like a one-goal game. That's blowout city here in this winning streak. How nice was it to cover a 4-1 game?
Well, that was great. And, I think, yes, you're correct that there have been a lot of closer games. We had gone to overtime the night before in New Jersey, but I think this game, it was even pretty close. I remember when, I think it was 2-0, and then the Islanders scored what turned out to be their only goal. It was like, oh no, it really didn't feel like a blowout until the very end. And so the Islanders are a really good hockey team, and they challenged the Preds a little bit more when they played them the first time at Bridgestone Arena earlier in the month. And, I think it was obviously, yes, it's always exciting, but there were so many milestones and so many just great performances in that game. Kevin Lankinen played out of his mind in goal.
Yep.
And, career high, I think 48 saves, which is just ridiculous. I think 21 saves in the third period alone. So, it wasn't, they definitely were laying it on the Preds at the end, and, Lankinen really just stood on his head for that team. And then you also had, Philip Forsberg, Roman Josi, Matt Duchene all had multi-point games. And then, you had Duchene get his 300th career NHL goal. It's just there were a lot of really special milestones in that game. So it was really great to see.
Yeah, I was basically saying that it wasn't easy at all. I was just saying it for effect. But thank you for clearing that up. Just for people out there listening, it really wasn't a cruise city. It didn't feel comfortable at all until it was the final 4-1. So dad's trip. Players love, dad's trip. It's there's been mom's trips in the past, which started all that with the Predators, and now we've got dad's trip. So what's that been like? House full of dads down there in Amalie Arena tonight.
Yes. So the dads have been with us. They flew with us here yesterday, and, it's been great, honestly. First of all, it's obviously the first time that they've been able to do this for a while because they alternate, as you said, dad's trip and mom's trip every year, and then haven't been able to do either for the last couple of years with the pandemic. So it's really special to see the guys with their dads, and it's kind of funny. With this being my first season with the team, and I obviously hadn't met the dads before, with the exception of Roman Josi's dad when we were over in Europe. But I was standing at dinner last night, and I was kind of looking around trying to match the dads with their sons just based on looks and mannerisms, and I was actually pretty accurate. I got
really
right. So
who stumped you?
Yeah.
Who stumped you?
I would say Alex Carrier, his dad. I never would have guessed that was
okay.
His dad.
All right.
But some of them, they're just, they're almost identical in terms of mannerisms and the way they look, the way they act, and so. But it's been really great just to have them around, and for the dads to see, kind of what the day-to-day is like. Obviously, they watch all their sons' games, but, they don't really get to experience the behind-the-scenes with, the travel and the practices and the skates and everything else that goes into, a road trip like this. So it's been great, and, we've got a great group, and it's also kind of funny to see sometimes on a team you have certain players who kind of gravitate towards each other, and then it's like the same players who do that, their dads are also gravitating towards each other. It's pretty funny to watch, but they're having the time of their lives, and it's really great to be a part of it.
How tough is it for Ryan McDonough to not be in the lineup to going against his old team? I believe, though, he's on the trip, right, because of the dad's trip, but it's got to be tough that he has to sit this one out.
He is on the trip. I will be honest, I was stunned to see him getting on the plane yesterday. I didn't think he was going to make it, but as you said, it is the dad's trip, and it's his former team. They were going to do a special presentation for him tonight. He's a former alternate captain here. They did do a media availability with him this morning with the Tampa media, but no cameras allowed. His face is really in rough shape with his injury. So, it is really, it's just heartbreaking, even just to look at him. I try not to look too hard because, you don't want to, but I feel like it just, you just feel so bad for the guy. I mean, even if this was any other road trip, it would be a horrible situation, but especially with it being this trip, he's coming back and, to the team that was, home for him for the last several years, where he won 2 Stanley Cups, and it was kind of funny. Even his dad is on the trip, like you said, and came to skate with us this morning, and he came out on the bench while the Lightning were doing their morning skate, and he was just like holding court. It was great. All the Lightning guys were coming up and saying hi to Mr. McDonough, and it was like, really, you could tell it was like family for them. And so, it's definitely special that he still got to make the trip and that his dad got to come. But, obviously it's certainly not ideal with his injury and the severity of it as well.
Well, amazing story there to get into a little bit. Can you talk to me about how the confidence of this team has changed, or has it changed? And what I'm getting at is this. There was clearly a period of time when the team was going through a bit of a slump, and now the team has seemed to come out of that slump. What has changed about the team here during the recent win streak that you have noticed?
Well, I think, and any team, any player who's been around long enough understands, it is a long season. There's going to be slumps. I think the timing of this particular slump is what kind of was a little jarring to a lot of people because it was so early in the season. You think normally something like that happens later, but it's nothing. We have a pretty, veteran team for the most part, and they've been through this before, and they know it's a long season, and they know not to hit the panic button. And as you said, it does seem like they're kind of coming out on the other side of it now. But I don't think any of them are getting too comfortable. I don't think any of them are gonna, like I said, let the foot off the gas or change anything about the way that they're playing. And I think they all hold themselves accountable, and they've all known that they're capable of playing the way that they're playing. So this isn't, obviously it's not coming as a surprise to anyone, but I think that the focus now is, okay, we're playing to our identity. We knew we were capable of this. It took us a little while to get here, but we gotta keep playing the way we're playing.
Can you talk to me about how they balance the playing time between Lankinen and Soros? Is it a conscious thing? I'm really curious about how they figure out who's going to be in goal and how long of a break somebody needs. It's clear UC Soros is a starter. I understand that. But how do you figure out how often to mix in the other guy?
I think that's something that's interesting, and I wrote about this for NashvillePredators.com this week, that, this having a backup, a solid, reliable backup like Kevin Lankinen is something that maybe the Preds haven't been used to in recent years. I think they would have relied a lot more on UC Saros if their backup maybe wasn't as reliable. The backup isn't going to get as much playing time. We kind of saw that with David Riddick last season. But I think, like you said, Juice is the starter, Saros is the starter. I think if Kevin Lankinen keeps playing the way he played the other night against the Islanders, then he'll definitely see some more playing time. But, I think it really just kind of depends on the individual guys and what they're going through. And what, I can say that Saros will be back in net tonight. Obviously, they've had a very long break, and he didn't play the last game. It was kind of a given that Lankinen was going to start against the Islanders because Saros had started the day before in New Jersey. But, I think they're both very motivated and very dedicated, and they both also understand their role. And I think, this is just speculation at this point, but, if it gets really into the meat of the season here, and, I think the coaching staff would feel more comfortable maybe just giving UC Saros a night off here and there because they have that reliable backup in Kevin Lankinen, which is a luxury that they really haven't had in recent years. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, as we get into the meat of the season here.
Preds are 7-2-1 in their last 10 games. That one is about 2.5 weeks ago when they fell in overtime at home on a Saturday night against the Lightning. So maybe they can get a little revenge there tonight. Emma, enjoy the game. We'll certainly be watching
Tampa.
you. Yeah, enjoy Tampa, the nice weather, because you're coming back to not nice weather. But we'll talk soon. Thanks for doing this.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Emma Lincoln, Predators beat reporter, is down at Amalie Arena tonight. Preds and Lightning, they'll be dropping the puck at 6 o'clock tonight versus Tampa. Tampa is also 7-3 in their last 10. So both teams have been playing some really good hockey. 615-844-5600, our number. The rest of the hour wide open. We can get into your calls. More of the McFarland Show next.
Nashville's first curling venue is here at T-Line Nashville. Come check out T-Line Nashville and experience the world's fastest growing winter sport today. Curling is a fun and simple sport that's a perfect outing for friends, corporate events, families, or parties. T-Line also has classic bowling and modern bowling mini games. With over 20 HD TVs, you can come watch your favorite teams and some of the best food and drinks here in Nashville in the large bar and grill area. They also have an outdoor area with a fire pit, and you can't forget the live music. T-Line Nashville is a one-stop shop for a great night out. Located at 106 Duluth Avenue and online at tlinenash.com. You can book your party now or give them a call at 615-439-1024. That's 615-439-1024. And make sure you give them a follow on Instagram and Facebook at T-Line Nash for all the news, events, and updates. T-Line Nashville. Nashville's first curling venue is here.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
From the big game to the big dance, Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel downtown is your game day and watch party headquarters. Don't worry about entertaining guests and trying to feed everyone. Sit back, relax, cheer on your team, and let the Bar Line staff take care of you. Grab a Bar Line signature cocktail and enjoy some wicked deviled eggs, or a Bar Line's double stack, and finish it off with some Jack and Coke chocolate cake. Bust your belly and your bracket at Bar Line, located in the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
Your exclusive National Sports Radio, WNSR Sky Scan forecast. Today's going to be cloudy with showers and maybe a thunderstorm for the night tonight. Today's high 66, low tonight 56. A few thunderstorms to start Friday, sunshine for the afternoon, the high 66. Utilizing the resources of the Mother Bug Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist, Jim Renault.
Sports Radio, WNSR.
Appreciate Emma Lincoln for joining us down in Tampa. Preds and Lightning tonight. Bill Keane will join us to start the second hour of the program. He may even be in-house. Hey, come in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio.
Wouldn't that be special?
And hang with us. There's a lot going on, by the way, in the college football world. So we got a lot to dive into. A lot. So that's coming up at 3 o'clock. Kay Adams, who was on NBC Sports.
Okay.
She was on NFL Network for many, many years on Good Morning Football. And the show is Up and Adams. Is that what it's called? Devlin, is that right? Up and Adams?
Correct, yeah.
The Up and Adams show. And I guess she caught up with Taylor Lewan. And today she has been tweeting out snippets of that conversation with Taylor Lewan. This is about 4 or 5 minutes that Kay Adams, a conversation she had with Titans left tackle Taylor Lewan. Here's how it went.
I miss you on that field, big guy. I do. We haven't seen you since week 2, the ACL. Where exactly are you in your recovery?
So right now, Thursday morning, I am 9 weeks post-surgery on my ACL. And so for anybody who's at an ACL, at this point, it's one of those things where you're checking boxes. Do you get extension? Do you get flexion? You're starting to work, depends if you have a meniscus situation or it's just a isolated ACL tear. If you're an isolated ACL tear, you're going below 90 degrees. If you have a meniscus or something like that, the first 6 weeks, you can't be weight bearing on it. So for me, I had a lateral meniscus as well. And it's one of those things where you're slowly progressing and slowly starting moving farther and farther down the line. And I would say right now, compared to the last one that I have, I've only had one other surgery in my entire life besides that first ACL, and that was getting my tonsils out. But this second one has been a much smoother ride so far in the first 9 weeks, and I'm very grateful to the Tennessee Titans training staff and everything like that.
I'm so happy to hear it. Now, how about up here and in here?
Oh, buddy, listen, I think this is the tale of two surgeries for me in this situation. It's the best of times, it was the worst of times type of thing. So 2020, there was, people like to disassociate football players from emotion a lot of times and just focus on the job and the job that you're supposed to do. For me, in 2020, things were going so well. My career was going on the path that I really wanted it to go on, and then it was abruptly changed in 2020. So there was a lot of emotional stuff I had to deal with, a lot of stuff to unpack, a lot of things that I needed to realize I had to water different parts of my life, not just the football part. And that was a very difficult thing for me to do. Now, what 2020 taught me is that you can't focus on things you can't control. And so now, 2 years later, being 31 years old, not knowing what the future holds for me, because anyone can look at salary cap and you can look at 2 ACLs in 3 years, and you can definitely pretty much write down what's going to happen this offseason with the Tennessee Titans. But for me, it's what can I control on a day-to-day basis? I have two beautiful little girls, a loving wife, and a great group of friends here that I can lean on at all times. So this emotionally for me has been a much easier transition with maybe worse things happening, which is a crazy deal. But it's kind of one of those things, like once you let go of control, life gets a whole lot easier. And that's the situation I'm in now.
Gosh. And shout out to Taylon and Willow and Wynn for being there for you and grounding you. I can't imagine that it's easy, just the recovery itself, and then mentally. Do you think going through an injury or going through another injury, does it make the thought of returning and those 60 minutes on the field more precious to you, or does it make you think more about being a dad and what you want for your future?
That's a good question. I think the appreciation for getting on the field with 2021, obviously the way my season started, the way my football season started in 2021 was abysmal. And that was just when you play at a dominant level, and this is not for me to give myself flowers, but when you play the way I played for as long as I did, it's one of those things where, you knew it wasn't going to last forever type thing. And so now I'm put in this position. And there's a lot of things to think about. I know that there's going to be other teams that would like to have me on their team and work for them. But, I've said before, I love Nashville. I don't think with my personality, how I act, how I handle certain situations, I don't think there would have been another city that have taken me in the way Nashville did. So I need to really sit down with my family after this year and really figure out what is the plan for me. What am I going to do? And just go from there. But I'm not leaving anything out of the equation right now.
So are you thinking about retirement?
I don't know. I think I think everything's up in the air for me right now. I think the important thing is here's where I really have my conversation with myself internally is I have played this game for a long time. I remember playing in college, and I remember my first couple of years in the league and playing the way I did. And I've always said to myself, I'm not going to go and watch the demise of Taylor Lewan. I don't want to be that guy that ends up, he's still chasing the dream. He's been on 5 teams in 4 years. And there's guys that do that, and there's nothing against that. This is just how my brain is wired. And so I need to see how this recovery goes. And in my head, I'm like, okay, you can still be a dominant player in the NFL. You can still play, and you can stay healthy. Those are all the things that I really need to evaluate when I'm going through this process, or do you hang them up with still some tread left on the tires? And like I said, I have a phenomenal life. I have an incredible life. I do a podcast with my best friend. I have the most amazing wife in the world, the best kids. We live in an amazing city, so it's there's a lot to evaluate. I'm not making any decisions now, but it's just something that does come in your head when you're 31 years old playing this game.
You shouldn't make decisions now. I do just want to say it is very cool, not just because I like you and you're funny and you have a great podcast and you're a great personality. It is very important that you are talking about this while it's happening. And people don't do that. Players don't, for whatever reason. They don't want to. They don't want to face it themselves. They don't think anybody else is talking or thinking about it. And the fact that you're not taking us on the ride with you. You didn't break news here just now, but the fact that you aren't making a decision, that you're mulling things over, that you found peace in something else with watering other parts of your life. It's just really important for younger players as you sit here here at 31 to sort of see that as an example. I think it's really cool.
There you go. So that was about a 5-minute snippet of this. So what was your takeaway, Justin, of all that?
He wants to play again, and he's got some regret about the way things went. Is my takeaway from it.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I don't. Wow, that's not much. Devlin, what's your takeaway?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. It really is from that. I'm a huge Taylor Lewan fan. I have been for a long time just because I follow his podcast and stuff like that. And I've heard him say that specific quote where he's like, I don't want to watch my own demise. If I'm going to go out, it's on my terms. I don't know if he's going to be that high of a player. I'm worried. I don't know if he ever sees the field again as a Titan.
I don't either. I mean, I don't think he is. I see. I took it the opposite. I think it's clear that Taylor Lewan is thinking about life after football.
Oh, he's thinking about life 100%. After football, but that doesn't mean it's now.
I'm going to tell you why he can say all the things that he did. Because he's made his money.
Oh yeah,
he's made his money. Okay, if he's a guy that's still trying to chase checks, then he wouldn't be saying that stuff. But he's made all of his cash, man. He's made tons of. He got paid $14.6 million this year.
Nice.
His that big deal he signed was almost $90 million. He's made his dough, man. And yeah, we've all known since Taylor arrived that he was going to be a media darling. That he was very sociable. He was very much out there, and now he's got a pot. You don't think he hasn't seen what a guy like Pat McAfee or others like you can make. Life after football. He could be that. I mean, sure. He can have a platform, whether it's a podcast, whether and I think who's behind them, Barstool. Who's behind them?
Yeah, I can't tell.
But I mean, right, Barstool.
It is Barstool.
Yeah. So I mean, they got these companies that'll support them and pay them lots of money. And,
sure.
I mean, McAfee, when he was doing his own deal before it all blew up, who was it? Was it FanDuel? But who gave him the? I mean,
FanDuel gave them the paycheck.
I mean,
yeah.
Okay. All right.
I mean, they gave him millions and millions and millions of dollars. So can he do that stuff? Yeah. And guess what? When you do this, you don't have to worry about tearing your ACL.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about all the stuff that comes with football.
Yeah.
Although I guess you could do it. I mean, your ACL is going to go. It's going to go. Whether it's doing radio or podcast or not, it's going to go. I know. Yeah. I've torn my ACL twice, so I know. I've lived it. But he's saying all this because he's made his dough. I think he's played his last game with the Tennessee Titans. I think it would be smart for them to move on. You can't keep paying Taylor Lewan. You can't count on him anymore. But I don't think he is a guy. I do believe him. I don't think he is a guy that's going to hang on because he doesn't need to hang on. He doesn't need to keep searching for anything. Okay? He's been doing this for a good while. He's made his dough. He's set for life if he's smart. And he can do other things after football.
According to SportsTrack.com, Taylor Lewan career earnings, $82.1 million is what he's made playing football. What Devlin says, and I've heard Taylor Lewan say the same thing, that he does not want to see his own demise and he wants to go out on his own terms and all that kind of great stuff. This isn't his own terms, though. This is not his own terms. He tore his ACL and, he had to get help or he limped off a field, in Buffalo. This is not how he wants to go out. If he can play football again, if he can find a way to get through another season, I guarantee he's going to go out there and do it. Because this is not the way he wants to go.
I wouldn't
not like
guarantee
this. Not like this.
Guarantee's a strong word, my friend.
If he thinks
he wants to live here, he is happy living in Nashville, that he's raising a family in Nashville. You think he wants to go play in, his best deal on the table in the offseason is Seattle. So his family's going to stay here because they ain't uprooting and moving them. He's going to go play across the country. You think he wants to do that for $8 million a year? $8 million for 1 year. He's got to pay his agent. He's got to pay taxes. So in essence, Taylor Lewan, who's been used to making big, fat checks every year, is going to go play next season across the country. I don't know, to bank another $3.5 million.
He may not want to do that. He may go play for another former Titans coach down in Atlanta, which is not that far. He may go play for former Titans general manager, no matter where J-Rob ends up next year. If J-Rob ends up somewhere, he can go play for him somewhere and make the situation a little bit more comfortable. Can he go? you're telling me if Taylor Lewan can go somewhere and he doesn't have to do training camp.
I'm telling you, I would not guarantee that he is going to play another
Come
year.
in, do some spot duty, on the bench, so many snaps to put him on the snap count, that kind of thing.
Spot duty? You think Taylor Lewan's coming back to do spot duty?
I think for
snap count?
For him to come off on his own terms, as he has said. He might do this because he'll have to, when you leave the field like this, you got to wear this, forever. So I don't know if he wants to do that.
Let's go to Nate down in Columbia. Nate, what's up?
Hey, guys. I wanted to change the subject real quick right before Bill King. Everybody has been talking about, well, not everybody because J-Rob's been the subject for the last week in Nashville, but most people have been talking about how Deion Sanders, it's Deion Sanders that everybody's focusing on moving to Colorado. What about the Colorado players with Deion basically saying your quarterback, and that I probably haven't even seen, isn't good enough, I'm just going to be bringing in my own son, deal with it? That would kind of rub me the wrong way as a player.
Then you need to hit the transfer portal.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, the University of Colorado understood from the get-go that if you hire Deion Sanders, and by the way, every university that Deion talked to, I promise you, Deion says, if I'm coming,
it's a package deal.
My son is coming to play quarterback, and he's going to be the undisputed QB1. Because, and I've said this earlier, and I've posted something, and it's gotten a lot of attention, and I appreciate everybody. But the reason Deion Sanders is going to Colorado, my argument is not for the money. Deion is already rich. This is because he could not get his son drafted to the NFL out of the Southwest Athletic Conference. He could not do it. So him playing his son, Shedeur Sanders, playing on the bigger scale, the bigger stage, that is what this move is all about. So, yeah, he's going to play his son no matter what.
But you don't think that the locker room's not going to be a little peeved about it? Just
what locker room? The locker room has left.
I was going to say the peeved locker room is going to be in the transfer
portal. The locker room that went 1-11, those guys? No, those guys are afterthoughts at this point. And I know that sounds cruel, but this is college football in these days with the transfer portal and everything else.
There's already like 600 kids in the transfer portal. Yeah. He could literally rebuild his roster
from
the transfer portal.
From scratch.
That's true. That's true. Now, let me leave you with this about the Titans and J-Rob, because I don't think I've talked to y'all about it yet. I think that the way Amy is handling this, in this specific instance only, is very, very close to the way the Predators owners handle the situations where they need to come out and speak off on behalf of themselves. They just let someone else do it. Yes, this was Coach Vrabel speaking kind of on behalf of Amy, not really, but Sean Henry usually does it with the Predators. But, yeah, I wanted to get y'all's opinion on that too.
Thank you, Nate, as always. We certainly talked about this a lot yesterday. I said it for 2 hours. If you don't want Ryan Cowden to talk, okay. If you don't want Burke Nihill to talk, okay. If you don't want, more importantly, Amy Adams Strunk to talk, okay.
She doesn't want to talk. It's not that the organization doesn't want her to talk. She doesn't want to talk.
Well, I don't know. I don't know who's.
Well, that's true. That's true. You
know
what? That's my bad. I'll retract that. That's true.
I was gonna say I don't know who's who on that. So
you're right.
You got to have somebody in place to do it. And that's what I said. I used the Predators reference, their ownership group. Now they have had Tom Segran was available. Tom Segran would do some talking. David Freeman did some talking, but Herb Fritsch just does it. That's not his thing, and that's fine. I have a feeling when
former Governor Haslam.
Yep, I think that's going to change.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be a lot more available.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be probably a voice you will hear. That's me. I don't know that. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
That's been his track record.
Well, I was going to say,
you
you can back me up on it. Like,
Sure.
he can handle it. He
Oh,
was a governor.
without question.
Okay, he can handle it.
He'll be doing just.
I'd be
Matter of fact, he'll welcome this.
I was going to say, I think he would be. I would be shocked if he went into a cave. Right?
Man,
I don't see it.
Talking about the business affairs of the National Predators.
Yeah,
compared to 10 Care, and what do you do with the Tennessee National Guard and the Department of Children's Services? Yeah,
you think he'll welcome it?
Yeah, this will be fine.
So, if you're not going to have the ownership talk, then you need to have a Sean Henry in place. I don't know why Burke Nihill wasn't the guy. Seemed like he can handle it. I think they've trotted him out before. He's come on this show. He hasn't had a problem talking. He handled himself just fine. But they chose to put Mike Vrabel out there. I didn't understand that move at all. That'll do it for the first hour. We'll come back. Hour number 2, we'll talk college football with Bill Keene. That's next.
On air and online, Sports Radio, WNSR, Brentwood, Nashville.
ABC News, I'm Marina Roy. Mixed emotions following Brittany Griner's release from a Russian prison. At the White House, Griner's spouse, Sherelle, expressed elation.
Today, my family is whole.
But also vowed to help free former Marine Paul Whelan, who remains in a Russian prison.
BG and I will remain committed to the work of getting every American home, including Paul, whose family is in our hearts today.
The U.S. urged Russia to release both Griner and Whelan together in exchange for Russian arms dealer Victor Bout. David Whelan is Paul's twin brother.
We will all have to just keep working, both the Whelan family and the U.S. government, to try and find a way to do that.
President Biden says talks continue to bring Whelan home. The House voted to pass the National Defense Authorization Act. The $847 billion defense bill mostly funds the Pentagon for training and equipment, as well as nuclear weapons research, and authorizes $800 million in additional aid to Ukraine. This is ABC News.
Thanks to Total Wine, you saved more on all the gifts for the ones you adore. Wine, spirits, beers, all nestled on shelves. Got some advice from our helpful elves. Oh, so many gifts to explore when you go to Total Wine and More. Bottles so delightful, whoa. Priced so amazingly low.
Love what you find. Always lowest prices at Total Wine and More. Delivery available. Drink responsibly. B21.
When my little girl has a stuffy nose, she just can't rest.
Mom?
And neither can I. So I use Vicks Sinex Children's Saline Nasal Mist to instantly clear her mucus right at the source. It provides fast, drug-free relief from everyday stuffy noses. It's relief for both of us.
Vicks Sinex Children's Saline. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Located at 5410 Murfreesboro Road in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers is one-stop shopping for all your liquor, beer, and wine needs and has been a multiple winner annually in the Best of Rutherford County voting for Best Liquor Store and Top Wine Shop. Featuring the lowest prices, the best customer service with unsurpassed knowledge, City Slickers offers the largest craft beer selection in Rutherford and southeastern Davidson counties and has beer on tap at its Growler filling station. City Slickers also sells mixers, sodas, snacks, tobacco products, and the Tennessee Lottery, and can place special orders and assist with all your events and even wedding planning. Make sure you follow City Slickers on all their social media or just give them a call at 615-280-7469. That's 615-280-7469. Located in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers.
Listen, you can't handle the truth. It's about to go off. Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare studios.
Just a bit outside.
Now back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call now at 615-844-5600.
Oh, righty there.
Now the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Second hour here on the McFarland Show. Darren and Justin with you. Devlin alongside here at the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. This is a first for the McFarland Show.
Yes.
2.5 months on the air here at WNSR. Our first guest in studio with us is Bill Keene.
That's right, with the both of us, because Bill was in with me.
That's when I was gone. When
when you were out.
Right.
So
for me and us doing the show in the same
as
room.
a unit, yes.
Yeah. It's our first guest. Bill, welcome.
Would you cut my headset up? Who does that?
Oh, hold on.
Who's the dude? Test 1, 2. A little more. Yeah, that's good.
Is that working? Is that the knob
for you?
That's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
good
you,
deal.
guys.
Good
Appreciate
deal.
it. Good to
helps,
be here.
It helps if you can hear us. So
I could
good
hear.
call.
Just look, 35 years with the headset on.
Yeah,
It's fading.
Optimum settings.
Bill,
Absolutely.
the worst I've ever picked up headphones and literally thought my eardrums were going to explode after he just used them. Eli Gold. I literally said, Eli, are you deaf? And I waited for him to go, huh? But no, I think it's the same thing as what you just said. Like, he's been wearing headphones his whole life.
Well, he's also been doing NASCAR, too.
Well, that's
can't leave that part out.
Like, I literally threw them across the room after, 2 seconds on my head because I was like, holy crap, Eli. Jeez. That's like a whole new level. Okay, where do we begin? All right, let's begin in our backyard. Mike Wright, Jay Davis. How big of a hit is that for Clark Lee and his staff, losing these guys?
Well, you thin out the quarterback room. I don't know if he's the best quarterback, but he's certainly a good quarterback, and to have two is a luxury, but that's not realistic at Vanderbilt. It's not realistic at a lot of places either, and you're thinning out your backfield as well. That's hurtful. Let me just go back. I am a big fan of Clark Lee. I've seen all I need to see out of him at Wake Forest, Notre Dame, and Vanderbilt. But he's at a place where you can't win.
Yep.
He's a good coach. What is happening is going to continue. If they develop, they're not getting stars in recruiting. And they'll develop. Their left tackle transferred a year ago to Alabama. So you can develop players doing it with less, but you're not going to be able to keep them.
Yeah.
There's no reason. If you get developed at Vanderbilt and you're better than your recruiting ranking said you are, you're not staying. You can't fix that.
Sound familiar? Remember when we had Rick Stockstill on?
Yeah. He was
Literally,
saying the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, he was
almost verbatim.
He's like, we just, we develop these kids, and then the minute they're developed, they move on.
He didn't sound happy about it either.
No, he was not happy about it. And he's like, they move on to bigger schools. It's like, we put in all the hard work. We got up to a certain level, and then they go to big boy school.
You work all summer. Good metaphor. You work all summer. You got money in your pocket. First week of school, the bully takes it all from you. And he didn't bust a grape the whole summer.
Yeah. So Clark Lee, if you're listening, earmuffs.
Sorry,
man.
man.
We love you, man.
Yeah.
But earmuffs on that. So where do you think those guys end up? I mean, by the way, how many hours could you spend a day on your show talking about the transfer portal?
Monday, I wasted so much time.
It's ridiculous.
They say, and I hope somebody listening, I don't offend, I've never had a seizure, but watching all that, I thought I was going to have a seizure.
Yeah.
It was just a constant ticker tape. Here's the other thing, and I believe stars matter in recruiting, but it's not everything, right? There's all these kids. There's this receiver at Kent State. I don't really know well. Ohio State, Georgia, Tennessee offering. There's a defensive tackle at Western Michigan who's 6'5", 310. Everybody in the South but Alabama. Notre Dame once. Guy named Brandon Fisk. I didn't know him. He was a one-star or something.
Yeah.
And had one offer. Well, he had two. He had Western Michigan and Illinois State. There's guys like that all over the place.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. This kid that Tennessee just took out of UC Davis, tight end, was coached by a friend of mine, Dan Hawkins. Remember Dan?
Yeah.
Colorado.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Dan, great guy. Anyways, Tennessee just took a kid, and Tennessee loses Princeton Fant, and who's pretty good. Mm-hmm. And they're not bringing this guy in because they think he can, pad the depth chart.
Yeah.
If you're going to bring a guy in, he's got to play.
To play, yeah.
There's stuff like that everywhere. Half the ACC's quarterbacks, except for Drake May, and there were a lot of rumors about him, half of them are in the portal.
Yep.
I'm talking about guys. The kid at Virginia, Brennan Armstrong, has almost 10,000 yards in his career. He's in the portal.
Yeah.
What went wrong with him? You're not happy with your stat sheet? Is that not good enough? We just let you, in basketball terms, we give you 30 shots a game. Huh?
It's crazy.
Where are you going?
What is the number? Like, isn't it like over 600 kids in the portal?
Oh, I think it's that couple thousand.
Oh, is it a couple thousand?
I think so. I mean,
okay.
Luckily, I didn't try to count that down. But
okay.
But no. Here's the reason. Let's say you do have your Brennan Armstrong or your Devin Leary. NC State is a really good quarterback.
Yep.
You put your name in there to see what your value is. Which I don't like this system, but it's smart. I would too. If I'm at NC State and I'm just guessing their collective isn't the sexiest, and I got 1 year left, tell me what you'd give me.
Yeah. Well,
I don't blame them that way.
So here's another sensitive subject.
Yeah.
It's Scott Ramsey, if you're listening, earmuffs. Kentucky's coming to town.
Yeah.
I don't know how excited their fan base is because now they've learned the starting quarterback, Will Levis, he's not playing.
Okay.
Rodriguez, he's not playing. I don't know who they're going to suit up play. I guess the backups.
I have an answer.
Okay.
Family friend Destin Wade, Spring Hill, Tennessee, might be starting at quarterback. Okay. Very good friend of my family's.
Okay. Will that sell tickets?
No. Now,
that was an
my
answer.
son Brandon, who's their best friend, will go. He'll spend $30, but you can't put $60K in there. No.
Yeah.
No.
So I mean, that's the
Iowa doesn't play offense either. So
no, if you watch them,
yes, they do. It's just from years ago.
If they can get to 16, that's what they're saying. If we can get to 16, we have a real shot of winning this game. That was their motto this season. Bill, I've said this on the air many times. I would watch their over-unders. They had games this year. Their over-under was like 30.5 to the game. Not their total. The game total was 30.5.
Here's a question.
In 2022, college football.
Here's a question. Speaking of Iowa and that culture, that geography, what happens first? You plant a corn seed and it matures and the corn's ready, or they score a touchdown.
Oh, boy, that's a tough one. That's photo finish.
I
don't
mean,
know. We'll have to check the tape. Who wins that? Jeff Brom is coming home.
Yeah.
So he's leaving Purdue, so we'll get to that. Who's the next at Purdue? What did you make of Jeff Brom coming to Louisville?
They tried him in 2018.
Right.
He's, as you know, pretty much Louisville. His family.
Through and through.
Dad, brothers, everything about him. 2018, he didn't want to take it because he'd only been at Purdue 2 years, and he just felt like the promises he made, he just couldn't break them. And he stayed. Now the time's right. He just won the Big Ten West. Not that the Big Ten West is all that, but that is really good at Purdue. And I don't think you can max out beyond that there. You've maxed out your ability.
Yeah.
He's making $6.5 million. You know what the funny thing about him is? And I don't know I'm not suggesting this means anything. He drives. Now, this is a guy that's been making $6 million.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
And 04 Honda Accord.
That is true.
Yeah.
As I've had
Did you
that
know
conversation.
this?
Yes, I've had that conversation with him.
And he's happy.
I was like, people tell me this. Just tell me. Jeff, is this true? He's like, it's true.
I mean, so if you have a Honda Accord, I'm just saying.
No, but.
I do. He's older than that.
He could upgrade is the point. The point is he could upgrade.
I think he does it just now, just for the
right. So Jeff Brom at Louisville, they're a hot mess right now. So he can fix that. Now that leaves a big hole at Purdue. And I wrote down these are the names I've seen. You tell me you think this is real or fake. Dino Babers.
No, he's not leaving Syracuse. Not for that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Dan Mullen.
No, it's not good enough.
Not good enough.
Yeah.
Todd Monken.
Maybe. Passing school, quarterback school.
Okay. So who do you think is realistic?
Brian Hartline's in there too.
Okay.
Receiver coach, Ohio State. Now, he's not even a coordinator. He's a recruiting freak, though.
Okay.
I mean, you know all those All-American receivers at Ohio State? Marvin Harrison Jr., Jackson Smith, and Jigba, the Fleming kid, all these. That's Brian Hartline.
Yeah.
One after another. Now, again, I don't know if he'll get it, but he's in the flirtation for it. I don't think it's clear who's getting it yet. I mean, I guess you could say you need to rush because you've got signing day and the portal's unraveling in front of you while you don't have a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I've never, ever subscribed to speed up a hire. If you get the hire wrong, it doesn't matter who's in the portal. Doesn't matter who you go get. You got to get the hire right, even if you miss some players. That'll catch up if you get the hire right.
It's such a tricky dynamic, Bill, because teams have been caught in this. This guy can go recruit his tail off, and he will get players at our school.
Yeah.
But we have no idea if he's the right head coach. I mean, Notre Dame may be asking that right now about Freeman. I don't know. I mean, they wanted to, they wanted to keep all those kids.
Yeah.
He can recruit. I don't know, like long term, is he going to be a good head coach? Ed Orgeron, right?
Okay.
I know he won a national title, but it fell apart pretty quickly.
But
There's a bunch of guys like that.
We have the number one test case in history right now, Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
None of those cases are Deion is
but at
gonna,
least he's been a head coach.
Yeah, on that level we don't know, but yeah, maybe it translates. Rick George is a guy I know well. He was at Vanderbilt with DiNardo. He was the recruiting coordinator. He's the AD at Colorado. This is a brilliant idea. Even if it fails, it's a brilliant idea. Colorado, what are you going to do? Just go take the next guy who you think's got a shot?
Mm-hmm.
And then they just went 1-11. So what if Deion goes 1-11? You have to fire him. Oh, so you lost some more ball games. Right. Brilliant idea. Deion is going to get players like crazy. He's already bringing that Travis Hunter kid, number one player in America from a year ago, that went to Jackson State and played DB and receiver, played both ways in college. And he already told that crowd in that assembly, I've got dogs coming with me. You guys need to get in the portal. He did.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's exactly what he said.
He said, I got luggage and I got Louis. The luggage is Louis.
And then he said something like, and I got dogs coming with me too.
He did. Now, Bill.
And he's not kidding.
You talked about Deion. I want to open that up a little bit more here.
Right.
I have made the argument that the move for Deion Sanders going to Colorado is less about Deion and more about his son, Shedeur Sanders, who I know that he wants to put into the National Football League. And you cannot, and Deion has figured it out, despite all his success, the Go Jackets, top 5 dead or alive football player that he is, he cannot get his son into the NFL as a drafted quarterback out of the SWAC because, as I explained to my good friend Darren over here, there has not been a drafted quarterback from an HBCU since 2006 with Travaris Jackson. So now, Deion's in a situation where he's down there at the SWAC, he's down there at Jackson State, he's looking around. He had a kid named Akil Glass, who I know Darren had not heard of. I'm sure you have heard of because you've heard of all kinds of things. Akil Glass went for 3,500 yards, 36 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions, and didn't get a sniff in the NFL. So Deion has figured out, I got to get to Colorado because my kid needs a bigger stage, and this is not going to work down here at Jackson State. Am I right or wrong?
I think that's right. I mean, I don't think that's it, but it adds to the equation. Absolutely. And it's look. Let's face it. If he wins big at Colorado and Mike Norvell, who had a good year but otherwise has not, in Florida State College, he's gone there too. I mean, that's the alma mater. He's a Fort Myers guy, right?
Yeah.
Now, they are mad at him about Travis Hunter because he was committed there and he stole.
They'll get over it.
They will. They'll get over it.
It went a little bit and they'll get over it. Yeah.
Short memory.
But, guys, that's the number one test case in modern history. Can you – now, again, we have a name, image, likeness. It wouldn't be the greatest idea without name, image, likeness. He would still be able to recruit well, but now you can legally give people stuff. And Deion supposedly has the backing to do this.
That program has been irrelevant for a good while.
Let me tell you something. I've had a question several times through the last 5 years. Bill, with this name, image, likeness, not 5 years, 2 years, could a program rise from the ashes just due to this and become a factor? This is probably the one. And I'm saying if it's possible, this is the one. You couldn't do it otherwise.
My goodness. Bill, I want to also ask about Matt Rule and his impact there at Nebraska and what that really does to the programs around him. What does Matt Rule landing at Nebraska do to, say, Kansas State or Iowa or the other teams there regionally? Wisconsin, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Minnesota, what does that do to them?
Scary, because I've told you guys, other than Bo Pelini, they've never brought a guy in, even Scott Frost, who played there, who had any clue about the culture. Nebraska has a blueprint, and it's not chuck and duck. You got to be tough. And all they do is pillow fight. That's all they do on the football field. And I don't get it. You cannot do that at Nebraska. You have to get people in a tight space, metaphor phone booth, and don't let them out. That's how you win.
Drag them around the
Wisconsin does that, and they will do that with their new coach, Luke Fickell. Now, Wisconsin hadn't lost their culture. They just were down on players. But you got to get your culture back. And Matt is good. We've already, Temple, Baylor, I mean, those places were in horrible shape when he got them, and he resuscitated them. They may finally become a problem in the Big Ten West. I have given up on Nebraska long since. When they hired Bill Callahan, I quit Nebraska. And that was a while back. But this might be, I mean, I know Matt, and this might be the one. Yeah, this might be the one.
One more thing, and I'm sorry, Darren. I got it. Well, I got the guru here. Real quick, any chance Jim Harbaugh jumps out of Michigan and takes an NFL job? There's been rumors about him going to the Indianapolis Colts.
He visited Minnesota wanting that job on signing day last year. And a lot of people thought that would hurt him. And it did hurt him with some players. Obviously, it didn't hurt him on the field this year. I don't think so. I wouldn't bet you a lot. I mean, because that life for those guys, if the NFL wants you, is preferable. Now, I'm a college guy. Sure. I don't like saying that, but it's true. That life is way more comfortable than the college grind, begging players. Now you got the NIL. If legitimately given an opportunity, and again, he knows that league. He's got his brother, and he coached San Francisco. He may do it. I don't think so, though.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, last couple things. I was shocked and disappointed. Hendon Hooker not going to New York.
Yeah, agreed.
That's a shame. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. So he didn't play the last game of the season?
And he's hurt.
Oh, I get
his
it.
His stats are insane. He deserved an invite. I quit voting about 3-4 years ago. I just don't care. And even though it takes you 30 seconds to vote, it's not like it's some kind of labor, you know. I just lost interest in it. But yes, I'm a Hendon Hooker guy, and he deserves to be in New York. That's a shame. Tennessee's kind of got a Heisman curse. Johnny Majors lost it to Paul Hornung, who was on a 2-7 Notre Dame team. Now, Charles Woodson, Peyton Manning, everybody's got their fight there, but you could at least think there's a curse, right?
Sure.
I mean, it's Peyton Manning. Charles Woodson's a Hall of Famer too.
Sure.
Yeah.
But Tennessee kind of has that little thing, that little curse thing. Now, this kid coming in, Nico Iamaleava. You know what his comp is? It's Hendon Hooker. He's a 6'6" Hendon Hooker who's a better athlete with a better arm.
Is he as tough, though? Can he take the hits, though?
Don't know that.
Yeah.
About to find out.
I mean, because that's what makes Hendon Hooker Hendon Hooker.
Correct.
It's the fact that he can make the runs and still take those licks.
I'm not saying he was going to win. I'm saying he deserves to be there.
Correct. No, I agree.
100% he deserves
I don't know
to be
that I would have voted him in the one slot. I don't. It's probably before about 2/3 through the season I might have.
Yeah.
But it's a wonderful story. What a good kid, man.
Yeah.
What a good
So
kid.
who wins on Saturday?
I think Caleb Williams would have won. I don't know if the Utah game.
Oh, boy, it was bad. I mean, he was banged up. He was hobbling.
Oh, and he painted his fingernails. Did you see that?
No.
You guys didn't see this?
No.
All right.
Tell us.
Caleb Williams, did you see it?
Oh, yeah.
Last 3 games, but Utah game where they got beat 42-40, 43-42 regular season.
Yeah.
For the Utah game, he painted his fingers, 4 letters each finger. Bleep, UCK on 4 fingers.
Sure.
Oh.
Iowa on the other 4.
Oh.
And then he goes out and gets his brains beat out. About got killed in the game too, right?
Sure did.
Anyways, he would have won. I don't know if Mr. Council bluffs or Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett's not going to win it. It's a really good story. He's not going to win it.
But there's people believe he will.
They believe in.
And I'm like, really?
Then it's
Stetson Bennett.
No.
Then the crowd, the overwhelming sympathy crowd comes in, and I don't really have a pulse. I don't think about it like I used to because I don't vote.
Yeah.
So I'm not. I'll tell you this. This would be maybe the toughest year to pick. Sincerely, year 1, 2, 3.
I agree with you.
Also
I'll
think
give you that.
It's lost some of its luster too, hasn't it? This is not as an important of award as it was 15, 20 years ago.
It's a quarterback award.
It is a quarterback award.
Unless you're Devontae Smith.
Yeah. But, I mean, this year, what it's lacking is there's no, real – everybody's – I mean, you could make a case for all these guys.
Well –
I mean, really?
It used to be a running back award. Before it was a quarterback award. And then now –
You could make a case for Drake May. Nobody blew up bigger than Drake May this year. Nobody. And he's a redshirt freshman. Dad played at North Carolina. Brother was on a really good North Carolina basketball team. His brother that he rooms with is on basketball. There were a lot of rumors about him leaving North Carolina.
Yeah.
Apparently not going to happen.
It was so loud that he addressed it.
Correct.
So, Bill, good to see you. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks,
as always.
Bill. As always.
You realize Drake May could call every school, but probably USC because they got Caleb Williams in another year,
for another
and they
year.
take him.
Yeah.
Every team in America.
And he's going
Bryce
back.
Young's gone.
And he's going back.
Well, he's got to come back because he's a second-year player. But, anyways, he could. Yeah, he could. Anyways, thanks, guys.
He's going to be the number one pick in the draft, probably.
Probably.
Yep. Bill, good to see you.
Thank you, boys.
Bill
Thank you,
King,
sir.
tomorrow he'll finish out the week starting at 6 a.m. here on these airwaves. We'll come back. More of the McFarland Show on the other side. WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Are you looking for a trusted partner who knows AT&T business inside and out? ABS Communications is an organization built on the premise that telecom solutions and working with companies like AT&T can often be complicated, and the customer needs someone to help them navigate through these complexities. They make complex simple. Whether it's helping maintain, manage, or secure your business, ABS Communications is here to help with all your business telecom and mobility needs. Their business was built with the goal of simplifying the process of connectivity for the customer and establishing a long-term relationship of trust through transparency and accountability. ABS Communications is a top 5 AT&T authorized agent with over 200 years of AT&T technical experience. You can call Mark and the gang at 615-349-8588, or you can visit their website at abscomm.net. And remember, mention the McFarland Show to ABS, and you could get up to $250 in a Visa gift card for new ABS business customers.
Douglas is a real Prevagen user and paid testimonialist.
My name is Douglas. I'm 79 and I live in Chicago. I'm a writer, director. I used to be a marathon runner. Now I'm a walker. In the kind of work that I do, you are surrounded by people who are all younger than you. Memory became a factor. As everyone gets older, where did I put my keys? But I had to get help to stay competitive. I happened across Prevagen, and I started taking it. I saw myself having an improved memory, which at the same time, I felt better about myself. I could not be doing what I'm doing today had it not been for Prevagen.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life. Prevagen is available in stores everywhere. Based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired, this product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Whoa, are you kidding me?
There's plenty of game left. Just chill out. If you're too riled up, you won't ever get to sleep tonight.
How can I chill out when I have to put up with this every single week?
Oh, and he gets picked off. Interception.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Okay, that's enough. Here, try these cannabis products from Lab Canna. And these heightened Delta 8 gummies and Karma Calming Caramels will help put you in a better state of mind.
Whether you win or lose, make every game day better with cannabis products from Lab Canna. Learn more today at labcanna.com.
New Year's Eve in Nashville has a new twist this year.
Touchdown, right up the middle, 45 yards.
The 25th annual Trans Perfect Music City Bowl is Saturday, December 31st at 11 a.m.
Still on his feet, touchdown!
Get your ticket to the biggest party in Nashville as the Iowa Hawkeyes and Kentucky Wildcats square off at Nissan Stadium. For more information on this year's game, including ticket availability, visit MusicCityBowl.com. Presented by the Tennessee Lottery.
I caught the very, very end of the interview. Greg Pogue texted me and said,
That's Hall of Famer Greg Pogue to you, sir.
He is. Well, it's not official yet, but he's
okay.
not in yet.
My bad, Greg. I'll wait. I'll wait.
Soon to be. He said that Stockstill said there are 4,000 kids in the transfer portal currently. 4,000 kids. Do you know what that means? There's going to be a whole lot of those kids that don't have a home.
A lot of paperwork. But
don't have a home.
Yes.
I mean, if you brought up to me, that people don't understand. I said, yeah, people won't understand, Justin, until somebody does a follow-up story or a documentary on all these kids.
Yeah.
They follow them around, and they see what it's like whenever they're sitting there holding a bag, a phone, a computer, whatever, that's got the transfer portal, and they realize that they don't have a home. And because there's going to be those 4,000 kids aren't finding homes. Yeah. There's going to be a whole lot of those kids that do not play again.
You know what it's going to be like? It's going to be like back in the day. Remember when the craze of kids jumping out of college early to go to the NBA draft? And remember, they would hire an agent, go to the draft, and not get drafted, and then they end up nowhere. They couldn't go back to college because they're a professional now, and they've given up their eligibility, and now they're nowhere in the NBA. But this might be that on steroids. This could be a very tough situation for a whole lot of kids. They just haven't thought about it. They think they're going to leave one school and go to the next big school, and somebody's going to take them in because they're that special, not realizing there are hundreds of 6'3", 295-pound kids out here. You ain't the only one. They didn't stop the factory when they made you. There's a few more behind you.
It's insane. I mean, just listen to some of the examples. Bill was throwing up. But we could have sat there and done the whole hour on just the transfer portal.
Sure.
And he could have probably ripped off kids that this guy had these rushing stats. This kid had these receiver stats. This quarterback threw for this many yards, and they're in the transfer portal.
But what is this going to do? Remember, sometimes we used to rank teams sometimes based off of how many starters they had coming back. How do you think Arkansas is going to look this year? Well, Arkansas has got 9 of their 11 coming back on offense and 8 of their 11 coming back on defense. I think they're going to be very strong as those kids continue to gain more experience. Well, what if all of a sudden those numbers drop and we don't have 8 or 9 kids coming back on offense or defense? What if that number drops to 4 or 5? Because everybody else has hit the transfer portal and played musical chairs all around college football. I mean, that's potentially what we're talking about.
Yep. 615-844-5600. Let's go to our phone line. Let's go to Nolansville. Tony is standing by. Tony, what's up?
Good afternoon, guys. Ironic, I was going to call today and talk just about all this portal stuff. I mean, I'm tired of talking to John Robinson. I think we've covered everything on that. He's fired. He's gone. Let's move forward with that. But on the portal stuff, and I was going to talk to you actually Monday about it, but, guys, the portal is unbelievable. Just Monday alone, and your numbers were right, Darren. Of course, I knew it was around 2,000, what I had heard, what Bill had said. But Monday alone, over 600 players.
That's where I got that number. Okay.
Over 600 in one day.
That's where I got the number. Okay.
Right. It's unbelievable. And, you've got the quarterback. This is really something. You got Stetson Bennett, who I think is deserving to be there. You still got to be a quarterback no matter what that great team you're on. And I think he's like 27-0 or 27-1 or something. But think of this. Stroud, who's in there from Ohio State, he transferred from Georgia. correct? Aren't I right on that?
You're thinking of Justin Fields, Tony.
Just okay, Fields was. But then you've got, in the portal, you've got this guy, J.T. Daniels. Remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Remember him playing at Georgia?
Yeah, he's on like his fifth team. He's in the portal again.
For his fourth scoop.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yep.
Unbelievable. And, I mean, it's just on and on and on with this. And let me ask you, Justin and Darren, when does the time limit run out for this extra free year that all these players were given because of COVID? When does that expire? What year is that going to be?
Well, to my knowledge, that's up.
I'm about to say, I thought that was over
Virginia.
already.
Now,
right?
I know they gave Virginia, because of the way unfortunately, the way their season ended, they gave everybody on that roster another year because of, they cut their season short because of the shooting the last two games. But to my knowledge, I didn't know that they were still awarding everybody extra years.
Now, Tony, I think what you're getting at, and I have heard about this, and I don't know all the rules on it, I admit, but there's all kinds of waivers out there and opportunities for waivers. They aren't blanket waivers, but sometimes if you get the guy who recruited you and then he left, then you get a waiver. Or they switched offensive coordinators, so now you get a waiver because you play offense. So those kinds of things are out there. It's not – the blanket thing that you're talking about, they did it for COVID, but there's a bunch of other smaller stipulations
Grandma's
that are out
sick
there.
at home. I want to go back home.
That you can do. You can get a bunch of waivers is what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got guys playing, and I think Hooker was one, Stetson Bennett's one. You've got guys out there 24 and 25 years old that would normally be in their second year possibly of NFL football. I mean, these guys are smart kids now that are young, grown men that are playing against 18, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds. I mean, it's just unbelievable where this portal is, how long it's going to go. Is it going to be the same turnover? It's collegiate free agency. We all know that. So,
well, you think it's think about this, Tony. You think it's a coincidence? I know Bryce Young is in the discussion too, but Hendon Hooker and Stetson Bennett. I mean, they both should be in New York City. They both should be Heisman Trophy finalists. They're 24 and 25 years old.
Right. What about the quarterback at Utah? I mean, there's another quarterback at UTSA, University of Texas San Antonio, who's got record numbers off the charts.
Yeah, well, how about half of Brigham Young's roster?
Right, you could throw a bunch of them in there.
We got other things going on out there.
Just having
Darren,
fun. Jeez.
BYU.
Let's not be the no-fun league.
BYU
Come on.
into this. Okay.
And the last thing I want to talk about, let's get off this, one last thing, is, and Darren, you brought it up earlier to Bill, our Music City Bowl. There was 11, I looked at 11 different outlets that made their predictions for the Music City Bowl. Not a one of the 11 got it right. Only 3 had Iowa coming here, and 5 of them had Kentucky, who a lot of the Kentucky fans now call it, Darren, I think you're a Kentucky fan, they call it Lexington South, when they come here to play.
The Kentucky Invitational.
Yeah, but you've got them coming here, and then you've got these players backing out. But you've got the 2 teams that are the worst offensive team in each respective conference. You're going to see a 14-13 or 15-13 game. And don't forget,
they're hoping for
Iowa's
that.
first game.
They're hoping
Iowa's first game won 7-3, and they won it with 2 safeties.
The over-under is 31.
I'm telling you right now, I'd rather go fix a toilet in my bathroom than to watch Iowa football this season.
Well, put that wax ring down right and forget about that TV game.
I'm sorry. I know they're coming to town. I am in support of our bowl game, but Iowa football this season is the hardest thing in the world to watch. It's brutal.
That is brutal. You're right. Guys, thank you for your time. Thank you for taking my call. Have a good evening, and please be careful going home. It's a little wet out here.
Yeah, it's nasty.
sir.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Tony.
I'm sorry. I can't sugarcoat Iowa football. I can't. It's disgusting. It's like they're stuck. You talking about a portal? They're stuck in a portal that says 1968.
Well,
that's what their games look like. 1968 football.
They've had a few games.
And I wasn't around, and no, I wasn't covering them in 1968, and I wasn't around in 1968, so don't even go there if you were thinking it.
I wasn't thinking it, no. Maybe some listener somewhere, but I'm not thinking such things. No, Iowa has, they haven't exactly lit up the scoreboard this year, but I'm looking at their final scores. They've had a few games in the 20s. They've had
Don't.
two.
Justin, don't.
What? I can't count.
You
the
don't.
Games. No.
You have not laid eyes on that product this year. You are simply Googling them.
I admit.
And
I have
you
not
are
watched.
reading
I
scores.
have not watched Iowa football this year. I admit.
Then don't comment.
But you know what?
Don't comment.
Just for this and for research purposes, I will go and watch an Iowa football game. Why can't I do it?
You will not.
Why can't I?
Okay, fine. Tonight? Well, no, you can't.
No, I got enough time.
So, when you go to bed,
just put the game on.
Allow yourself, because you need to, you got to watch at least 5 minutes before you fall asleep. So when you want to go to bed tonight, so you can get up for Fox 17 in the morning, your code red station, give yourself a 5-minute window to lay down. Make sure your head is on the pillow. Then hit play, and then if you got to at least give it 5 minutes before you start snoring. Yeah,
Hawkeye Nation, I'm watching. I don't know which game I'm going to watch, but they're all available out there.
Yeah,
on some channel, YouTube channel. I can find some Iowa football.
You will regret those statements, sir.
Okay.
Regret.
I'll report back.
Okay, Bob in Antioch. Bob, what's up?
Got a question about the Predators. Actually, a couple of questions. When they started this road trip, I think we all agreed that we would have taken 3 points without playing any of the games. They've got 4. I'd love for them to get at least 1 point tonight. But my question is this. Was Ryan Johansson traded straight up for Seth Jones?
Yes.
Which one of those two players do you feel like, I know they play different positions, but which one do you feel like has had a stronger career to this point? And do you think the Predators are better off with Johansson than they would have been with Jones?
Golly, Bob, that's a hard one. We want easy questions today. We're about done. That's a hard one. Man. Do you have a strong opinion one way or the other?
Well, I don't.
Seth has gone away to, he's gone away to the hockey cemetery in Chicago because right now nobody's paying a lick of attention to their game.
I don't think that they would have gotten as far as they did in 2017 with Jones. I think Johansson was right for them then, just like I think that they wouldn't have gotten as far if Weber had been there instead of Subban, although I think that trade was good for both the teams. But I hear Johansson sometimes criticized. He's been playing better of late, and that's the reason. That's the reason I was asking.
The answer is Johansson. It is, but it's a tough call. I mean, look, they love Seth, but they knew to get a guy like Ryan Johansson, they were going to have to give up an asset like Seth Jones. And look, let's be honest. I mean, they have had success. It's not like they've hit on every defenseman they've ever drafted or brought in, but they have had loads of success at that position. So they felt like if there was a position where they could get rid of depth, especially a young guy that they didn't want to, but they knew that's what it was going to take, they were willing to part ways. And look, I liked Seth. I got to know him here, but I think the answer is definitely Ryan Johansson. It's Johansson.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, because of all he can do. I mean, he's a big centerman. Face-offs, his passing. Yes, would everybody like to see him score more? Yeah, but you know what? We're at the point, like, we know this is Ryan Johansson. So let's stop pretending like he's going to have another 30-goal season because I don't think that's in the cards. But he can, he's a big body. He's done – they've done right by Ryan Johansson, right? I think he fits what they were looking for, and that's the answer.
I have one more question. Do you think that what the Titans did with John Robinson is making a certain segment of the Predator fan base itchy and restless with regard to David Poyle?
If I'm being unfortunately brutally honest, because I'm pro David Poyle, the answer is yes.
I'm pro David Poyle as well, but I mean, I figured that.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, there's no getting around it. I mean, there's just some people. I mean, we've had callers on here, Bob, and you've probably heard them. When they make a statement, I'm like, so who do you not believe in? Is it the general manager or the head coach? Because it doesn't seem like your mind is going to change no matter what. In fact, Justin, you remember, I was like, well, what if they get on a winning streak? What if they get playing hot, you know?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? They're playing hot. They're playing good hockey right now. And, you know, and at least they've been honest and said, well, I don't, you know. So it's either the head coach or the general manager. I realize the general manager has been here the longest since day one, so I know that's probably more with that group that you're talking about, Bob. So it's more general manager than head coach. But there's also people that just are flat out there. They don't believe John Hines is the guy, and you can't change their mind. So
Right. Okay, well, I was just curious.
yeah, good questions
Thanks,
as
Bob.
always, man. Good call. All right, let's step away for the final time. We'll come back and wrap up the McFarland Show here on this Thursday. We'll do that next.
Are you tired of your current vehicle? Maybe looking for a new or pre-owned vehicle? Hey guys, it's Zach. Hayes Nissan of Rivergate is the best choice for your vehicle needs. Located at 1550 Gallatin Pike North in Madison, Hayes Nissan of Rivergate has been serving the Middle Tennessee community for over 3 decades. That gives you confidence that Hayes Nissan of Rivergate can find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and your budget. Their friendly and knowledgeable staff will make sure you are taken care of. I should know because I've seen it firsthand. Every vehicle I've purchased has been from Hayes Nissan of Rivergate, and I love the entire process. Now, I don't want you to forget about their award-winning parts and service department. It has everything you need to get you back on the road. Go visit them on the web at nissanofrivergate.com. They're open there 24/7, 365 days a year. Or give them a call at 615-865-7220. Again, that number is 615-865-7220. That's Hayes Nissan of Rivergate, where your dollar always goes farther.
Fill the halls with shouts of winning, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be giving, fa la 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 la. Instant games to friends and family, fa la 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 la. Join the joyous cash prize carol, fa la 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 la.
With top prizes up to $500,000, holiday instant games from the Tennessee Lottery make grand gifts. Find them at your nearest Tennessee Lottery retailer today. Please play and gift responsibly.
Are you suffering from bad gift giving? Look for the signs. Do people avoid eye contact when opening your gifts? When your friends say, you really shouldn't have, do they really mean you really shouldn't have? On more than one occasion, have you been re-gifted the same gift you gifted that person the year before? If so, the new Holiday Instant Games from the Tennessee Lottery might be right for you. Available now at your local retailer. The Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly. Side effects include invitations to more parties and less awkward looks at gift exchanges.
Lieutenant, can you tell us what happened today?
Our officers responded to a crash on I-40 westbound this morning. The driver of a pickup truck lost control of the vehicle, veered left, and went into a ditch.
911, what's your emergency?
We've been in a crash. Please send someone. My fiance is hurt.
A front seat passenger was wearing a seatbelt. She survived without injury. The driver was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected from the truck. He died at the scene.
Law enforcement writes tickets to save lives. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
Get all your NASCAR news every weekday right here on The Final Lap. Hey, it's Kerry Murphy, and we've got a full review of Champions Week going on this week from the NASCAR Awards in Nashville, Tennessee. Plus, we've got the most popular driver awards and where is Harvick going to be in 2024? So grab all the latest NASCAR news, driver interviews, stats, and info every single weekday right here.
Hi, I'm Joey Logano, and you're listening to The Final Lap with Kerry Murphy.
Check us out at facebook.com/The Final Lap every single weekday right here.
MTV days.
It is. It's a bygone era. Even though I've heard they've gone back to playing music at times on MTV.
Really?
That's what I've heard. I don't know because I no longer have cable, so I don't know.
Oh, you're cord cut.
I have a cord because the cord got too expensive. That's why.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we cut the cord a little while ago.
But have you ever added up all your services and seen what you're spending a month?
We do it all the time, and we're
Okay.
still under. But because we make choices, though.
But not
if
by
we got
much,
everything.
though, right?
Not as much as we.
I know.
Not as much as we used to be. Yeah,
that's
because they keep going up.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Like
Yeah.
it's like I get it. I understand because I do the same. I bellyache all the time. Like this is ridiculous. We're spending this a month.
Well,
but I also know I've looked in. I've looked at other options. It's like okay, you start doing this, and this, and so it sounds good until you put it all down there on paper in front of you, and then you're going, oh.
Well, what you learn is
great.
you just can't have everything. You just have to make hard choices.
Saving $16.
Yeah.
So
you can't have Hulu and Netflix and Amazon and Apple.
Right.
You can't do everybody.
Yeah.
You just got to make some choices.
Right. That's the thing. You don't have. You can cheat. It's like every time I call them up, I was like, hey, let's get the bill down. It's like, well, you can take. Well, I understand. I can take out. So, yeah, I get it. I can get rid of my HBO. I don't want to get rid of HBO. I've had it forever. Like I don't want to.
Yeah, but then you end up paying.
Well, I understand. I could get rid of it. It's $15 a month.
Yeah,
Okay.
Paying $15 a month for one show when you start examining it. And that's what most people don't do. They don't look down and look, okay, what do I really watch? When they think about canceling something, they think about their favorite show on that channel, even though they hasn't come out, new episodes haven't come out in a year, but they're like, well, what am I going to, I got to have that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, we can't cut that. And that's how you end up keeping everything. And in some cases, you can end up paying more for the streaming than you can for the cable.
Yeah. Pretty interesting. Tonight,
Speaking of which.
Rams Raiders, boy, Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Lucky.
Al Michaels with the extra salt.
For everybody who's got that availability, congrats.
Al Michaels extra crispy.
Al Michaels has got to be going, what? I thought this is going to be a good thing. This is, well, you could just tell in his voice. Like, he's like,
they've cut
really?
him loose.
I
They've
know.
cut him loose.
I
They
know.
let Al Michaels just say whatever Al Michaels wants to say.
He is unfiltered.
Almost within reason.
I mean, but
Almost.
he's stomping all over that line.
Oh yeah,
He's not afraid to go there.
No. Well, first of all, Al Michaels is a legend.
Yep.
Pause. Period. Okay. Now, Al Michaels is also filthy rich. He's made a ton of money broadcasting games forever. So at this point, Al Michaels, I would imagine, doesn't have a whole lot to lose or, by stepping over the line a little bit here and there on a streaming service. This is not broadcast, and Al Michaels knows that. And I think they've given him the green light to say certain things that I don't think he would have said, on Monday Night Football back in 1993.
Getting a little bit closer to the Titans-Jags matchup. I saw today where Trevor Lawrence did not practice again today. We'll actually talk to someone tomorrow on the show that used to play for the Jags.
Who's the backup quarterback down there in Jacksonville right now? I have no idea.
Is it Blaine Gabbert? I don't know.
No.
Is it Matt Castle?
I think you're right. I think it's Matt Castle.
Is it Vince Evans?
It could be. Vince held on a long time. I'm not sure if he's still there, but, he held on a while.
Is it Kelly Holcomb?
No.
Not Kelly Holcomb?
No, I just saw Kelly doing high school football down in Chattanooga. It's not Kelly. Love you, Holcomb. Hey, listen, nothing to do with you, man. It's just, I just know you're not down there right now. No, it's a good question. I'm not sure who's down there, and we'll find out here.
Well, we're about to find out because
yeah.
I think it's getting dangerously close to Trevor Lawrence might not play.
CJ.
Oh, it's CJ Beathard.
Beathard, sorry, excuse me.
CJ Beathard, Nashvilleian.
The son of the longtime Chargers general manager, correct? Or grandson? Grandson.
Bobby. Grandson.
Okay.
CJ Beathard, Nashvilleian.
Okay.
Speaking of Iowa quarterback. We just can't get away from Iowa today.
Oh, you just wait. They're coming to town. That's why I'm not talking salty about Iowa, because I know the Hawkeyes are coming.
Yeah, well, and plus you're going to be obviously well-versed on them because your homework assignment is to watch Iowa's season.
I'm going to watch – wait a minute. I didn't say the season.
Yeah, I thought you said you were going to watch the season.
I did not run the tape back. I didn't say the season.
I'm pretty sure Devlin, he said, I'm going to take
I said I was going to check out a game.
He goes, oh, no, let me go. They've scored 21
check out a game. I said I was going to
game.
watch a game.
You said they were terrible. They scored 22
Not a season.
in a game.
Not a season. That's not true.
Somebody else call in 615-844-5600. Settle this debate so I don't have to.
Nobody is going to call in defending Iowa football this season. No one.
Well, they don't have to defend Iowa football. I'm just saying I didn't say I was going to watch the whole season of Iowa football. I'm just not going to do that. I don't have that kind of time. But I can watch. I can take in a game here.
When I went to Gatlinburg, when you
Sure.
did host,
Yes.
and you had Bill Keenan here,
I did.
So and I wasn't here. When I was on that trip on Saturday, because there was a bunch of us, and we had a little action here, a little action there, because we can do that legally in this state.
You can now.
I saw the over/under to the Iowa. What was it? Minnesota game. Was it the Minnesota game? I think it was Iowa.
They did
Minnesota.
play Minnesota this year. Yes.
And I saw 30. It was like, no, this was before it just kept, they're over-unders, because then I just started tracking it. It was like 35.5.
Okay. Oh, I don't think they got
there.
there.
It was 35.5.
They didn't get there.
And I was like, a 2022 college football game, 35.5. So I was like, oh, my God. Anyway, long story short, I got out at halftime. I was able to get a clean break because the ball was actually moving late in the first half, and they had a crazy turnover, a blocked punt. So I was able to get out clean at half. The final score?
Yeah.
19-16, 35.
That's tough. That's
35.
brutal. That's
and then
brutal.
the next week I looked at their over-under. It was like 34.
Yeah.
Then I looked at the next week. It was like 30.5.
The over-under for
Then
the
I
Music
saw,
City Bowl was
like their last
31.
game of the season, Iowa was like 29.5.
Yeah,
I'm like, a college football game in 2022, they're over-under to the game, not the team total. The game total is 29.5.
Why are you hating on the ball control offense? It's just ball control.
Ball control?
Ball control offense.
It's 3 and punt.
Time and possession.
Let's snap the ball 3 times and punt.
Time of possession and field position. It's just a style of football.
Who called in? Kirk Ferenz?
That was Greg Pogue. He
Or was
called
that
in to let us
CJ
know.
Beathard?
That was Greg Pogue calling in to let us know that Justin said he would watch 5 minutes of Iowa football, not the whole season. So thank you, Greg.
Well, I know that. I was just trying to bait him into it. I know.
You think you gonna catch me like that?
Yeah, no. First of all, I said 5 minutes.
Yes, you did.
But I was trying to push you to the limits.
No.
And to just have you just do the season.
No, we're not doing a whole
Oh,
season
I
of
know.
football.
I know it's a no because you would have punted just like Iowa.
No.
Iowa's offense. You'd have punted pretty quick.
Remember, it's Darren McFarland talking about you, Hawkeye Nation, not Justin. Darren McFarland.
Know you're McFarland.
Just know you're McFarland. So Hawkeye Nation, that black and gold, when you get to town, it's
Oh,
Darren
yeah.
McFarland,
Yeah.
not me.
Well, they're not in town yet.
I know.
Yeah.
But the word gets around. It's okay.
Look,
I'm looking for you, not for me.
In all seriousness, is Kentucky going to show?
What do you mean? Are they
No
gonna show?
Rodriguez, no Levis. They kind of ended on a downer. Well, not really. I mean, they beat
Okay.
Louisville. They won their last 2, but are they going to show up like normal?
You're thinking about the actual football game.
I know.
And there's
You're talking
nothing
about
wrong with that.
coming
And
here
that's,
for
and
New
that's all
Year's.
great.
Coming to the city for
But
New Year's.
this is a city that's going to have the Tennessee Titans against the Dallas Cowboys 2 games before this. Then they're going to have a college football at 11 a.m. Why is the Music City Bowl at 11 a.m.? Let me tell you why. So you can get to the party that night that's going to be over at the Bicentennial Park and at every single bar in downtown Nashville where they're going to be having a celebration that night. That's why you're coming. It is the overall package, not the football game, is the attraction for the Music City Bowl. So will the Kentucky fans show up for that? Well, they haven't been here in about 6 years, so possible. And they love the trip. Short drive. They come down here. They take over the city. They have a lot of fun. They have a lot of fun.
So is this experiment going to start tonight? So will you
Which
have an
experiment?
update tomorrow on
Of
the
watching
show?
some
Yeah.
Iowa football. Sure,
Yeah.
yeah. Plan to
Yeah.
watch, yeah. Check out some Iowa football.
So you're
yeah.
I can ask you about it tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Okay.
My wife may not understand. I don't know if she's listening right now, but, babe, yeah, I got to watch some Iowa football tonight.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. It's part of what I do.
Yeah.
Iowa football, city council meetings, county commission meetings. I check all that stuff out. I was watching the Wilson County School Board go at it earlier this morning.
You know what? Then you will watch Iowa football.
Listen, Listen, if you don't think the Wilson County School Board is as exciting as Iowa football, you are mistaken, my friend. You are mistaken.
It sounds riveting. It really does.
Listen, it can get kind of tense. And I thought at one point it was going to get just as physical,
Is this about
too.
the books? They don't.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
About the books they won out.
It got loud at times, and I thought it was going to get physical.
Was
at
it
one
kind
point.
of like a scene from Field of Dreams?
Like which? Like
remember when
which,
they had
the
the town council meeting about the books?
Oh, you mean like that? Well, yeah, a little
Right?
bit. Yeah.
Did
I'm sorry,
Annie,
I forgot about that.
Did Annie get up and give her speech?
No.
No.
That was a lot of shouting, and a lot of clapping.
For people out there going, Field of Dreams is an old movie. Yeah, well, that means everybody should get the reference. It's
Yes.
an old movie. And it's a pretty popular movie.
I thought you were talking about the corn and stuff out in the field. I was like, how does that correlate? But okay.
Yeah. It's going to do it for us. Rams and Raiders tonight, man. Woo!
Yeah.
Get your popcorn. Baker Mayfield, is he really going to start? Oh, boy. He's been there for like 10 minutes.
Hey, you enjoy that Super Bowl banner there in Los Angeles.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. We'll talk to you tomorrow to close out the week. Stay tuned. Afternoon Stretch next.